Almost Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome aboard. Happy to have everyone. We've opened up, setting for our big weekend here. Tonight's Shabbat and Purim celebration is just the beginning of things. Tomorrow, of course, we have our Bee Gees tribute group coming in for a big concert. And Sunday will be the last movie of the year, America, a wonderful, compelling film from Israel. So we've got set up for a great big auditorium setting. We're glad everyone made a point of sitting up front, right? And those worshiping with us online, delighted to have you join us virtually, live streaming from our congregational website. Do hope you made an opportunity ahead of time to download a copy of our satellite Siddur to keep you in orbit so you can participate. Be aware, everyone, in-house and at home, this evening, because this morning was actually last night inaugurated Sukkot. Everyone made a big thing about the lunar eclipse, but the reason there's a lunar eclipse, it was the full moon. Full moon of Adar is, which holiday? Everyone say it with me? Purim. Followed up a month from now with the full moon of Nisan, which is Pesach. You have Pesach and Purim, and we make a big puh for both of them because, what's the point of having a microphone if you don't abuse it, right? So tonight, Purim. Last night began Purim. This morning continued Purim. And tonight, because we get together only once a week, and the opportunity of Shabbat is our opportunity to have Purim as well. So we're doing a truncated and abbreviated Shabbat service to honor the Shabbat Queen, to welcome guests visiting who hitchhiked all the way down 75 from Michigan to be here with us, and everyone who had to walk over the Savage Bridge. Is it under repair now? No, the Savage Bridge is about there. They're about to narrow it to one lane. So our congregants from Naples, even if it's just over the bridge Naples, it's difficult. Yeah, one way or another, Jolly Bridge. Well, we have a Savage Bridge and a Jolly Bridge, which is always frightening to visitors. I said, stay away from the Savage Bridge, just stick with the Jolly one. That joke isn't even worth doing. And I don't remember the name of the bridge that takes San Marco over to Goodland. But we don't want to encourage people to go to Goodland because they'll think that it's better than Marco. It's only good land. This is better land. One way or another, that's as funny as I can get on Purim at short notice, I'm sorry. We're going to invite everyone here to do a couple things. First of all, look around, see where the closest exit is and also the closest bathroom. Good thing you guys are in that corner. It's a short hop. Look around to see if there's anyone you don't know, don't recognize, or haven't seen in a while. And during the Oneg after services, make a point to say hello. And let's open our prayer books to page 124 and kick off our Shabbat and Purim celebration with what we've come to think of as our mission statement, middle of page 124. And let us read together. You know the difference between having a grown-up synagogue and a family-oriented synagogue? I don't have people potchking with their noisemakers during the service before. No, because we're grown-ups. Everyone together. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Candle lighting, satellite Siddur, you're still up front on page 1. In-house, let's turn back a few pages to 121. And our gabbais at the door have given our Rebbitzin the privilege of making benchlichten tonight. Benching licht or lichtbenchen, your choice, wherever the verb wants to go. Page 121.
Lighting candles. Take a breath. It's that time. We're letting the week go by. It's done, particularly once we get the candles lit. I guess I'll do this part of it. I'm improvising. Okay, O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Let's continue together. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Should have done this before. atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Everyone smile at the person closest to you didn't come with and say Shabbat Shalom. So now it's official. Now it's Shabbat. So let us turn to page 146. Satellite Siddur, you're in the middle of page 3, and everyone ponder for a moment, hearing the poignancy of the blessing and its melody, pondering that Shabbat is a verb that means letting go. Vayishbot Elohim, God completed everything and stopped doing it. Ponder the sweetness of Shabbat, the joy of this feast of Purim, and the glory of worship as we rise together, page 146, for the call to worship.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam avad.
And let's resume our seats once more. Since the call to worship summons us to worship, let us do just that on the next page, 148, 149. Find a prayer, any prayer, the Hebrew, the English, either of the two interpretive readings, and do a deep dive into meditating for a moment and pondering the significance of this first prayer in preparation for the Shema, God's transcendence as the unknowable creator of all that is. Baruch atah Adonai Amariv Aravim. And let us say, and turn to the next page, 150, 151. We ponder in the other direction God's immanence and closeness as our covenant partner. Hebrew, English, either interpretive prayer. Dive deep and ponder. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. And let us say, Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam avad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Geulah, page 158, the follow-up to the Shema, the joyousness of the Song of the Sea. Satellite Sidur, you're at the bottom of page 5.
עמך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה, זה עלינו ויאמרו, זה עלינו ויאמרו, זה עלינו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
And let us say, as we turn forward, Satellite Sidur, middle of page 6, page 162, the divine mandate and an invitation. We've recently been reading in the Torah in our annual cycle, God's giving Moses the specifications for building the Mishkan, the first traveling synagogue. And yet as Moses is going down the hill with the blueprints, God reminds him, tell the Israelites, even for job this important, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדרתם ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדרתם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדרתם ברית העולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדרתם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת
means letting go. It's about relinquishment. It's about ownership, both at the same time. Pulling inward, pulling out, being everything and nothing, endeavoring to be like God everywhere and nowhere. It is a transcendent time to reach beyond the ordinary. So page 164, Satellite Siddur, middle of page 7. We invite everyone to rise to the occasion as we rise together. And before we virtually step apart from one another into a time of personal devotion, each of us in our own way, let us begin by proclaiming together the words of the psalmist, Adonai svatai tiftach, ufi agid tilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Let's fast forward together to page 556 and a special insert prayer for the two holidays that aren't in the Bible but represent different kinds of miracles inaugurated from above and below, Hanukkah and Purim, Al-Hanisim.
Al-Hanisim ve'al-Hafurkan ve'al-Hagvorot ve'al-Hachot ve'al-Hamilchamot שעשית לאבותינו ואמותינו בימים ההם בימים ההם בימים ההם בזמן הזה בזמן הזה על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו ואמותינו.
Pondering the miracles inaugurated from below and above, we look for some miracles in our own time here. We invoke prayers of healing for members of our congregation, their friends and family, those precious to them, both near and far. We are on this doubly sweet full moon Purim Shabbat, lie on beds of illness, preparing for recovering from surgery, anxiously awaiting test results, looking to break out of invidious cycles of addiction, anxiety, pain, and fear. So many different kinds of people. in need of so many different kinds of healing. We name among them Leah Jacobson, Joan Thompson, Bert Posner, Freda Rosef, Roberta Schwartz, Jane Barron, Joanne Blau, Shirley Posner, Larry Satcher, Lydia Kruger, Frank Weinberg, coming up to bat Monday for a procedure he insists is no big thing, but we're thinking good thoughts anyway. John Righteous, Talarabachira Ran Dwaron, our accompanist, we're happy to have you back with us this one evening. It's always a special occasion, Doctor. Robert D'Onofrio, John Vernon, Jill Birch, Kayla Monasterio, Julie Fitzgerald, Susan Donahue, Margaret Gallivan, Pamela Michelle, Gary Singer, Marianne Mulligan, Peter Giori, Linda Gagnon, Christy Raymond, Tom Malota, Brandon Ben Sharon, Roger Andrzejewski, Eugene D'Onofrio, Edward Margolis, Teddy Emerson, Josh Plish, Jim Cusack, Nicole Jacobs, Rachel Kalu DeGron and her baby, Jim Buchanan, Rosa Footlick, and those whose names we call out to build and add to our prayer list, please.
Jerry Coleman, Harriet Weinstock, Linda Reitzes, George Carton, Edie Gershman,
Mary Caroci, Pete Caroci, Henry Berger.
Back of the room, over on the side, please. And for those at home, we're not bashful at all about pulling out the umpire for a bad call in the field. Don't be bashful about making a good call our way, and however virtually we receive it, as with our cantor we together share this prayer for healing.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberoch imotenu mikol havracha lovotenu. Bless those in need of healing with the full shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And having come back together in song and prayer, let's sweeten our Shabbat. Bert Thompson, would you honor us, sir, by introducing our Kiddush tonight?
The seventh day is consecrated to the eternal God. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushah mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho be'ahava
Bert, you handled that so admirably that being one of our famous 5 chefs, if you'd honor us by going around front slicing up some challah, one of the duties and obligations of Purim is to share food with friends. So come get a slice of our island challah, man. It's worth coming down 75 for. Come on.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Don't bother, Phyllis. You got no takers. What do you mean she's going to serve? Rather cavalier attitude on your part, Doctor. There we go. We got some takers. People who know a good thing when they see one.
I'll be a full service.
Full service.
I traveled.
We have a seamless and grim transition for a moment from Kiddush, which is sweet, to Kaddish, which is bittersweet. Our memorial prayer, you'll find it Satellite Siddur, top of page 11, and our big prayer book, page 598. The prayer with which we conclude every session of study and of worship, a tribute on this Shabbat to these whose families observe yet the month of Shloshim. Alan Kaplan, Shiri Ariel and Kfir Bibas, Ruth Dwaron, Linda Gavain, Rodney Schmale, Sigmund Migdal, Harry Shapiro. And we name as well these the anniversaries of whose death were observed during the week, now ending. Edith Rask and Abrams, Teresa Bachman, Ethel Black, Louis Edward Edinger, Anne Molowitz, Evangelista, Daniel Germain, my uncle Arnold Gross, Francis Kalin, Frida Silber Mandel, Leslie Mascoop, Alfred M. May, Shirley Mays, Reva Miller, Gilbert Rudman, Francis Soloway, Irene Spiegel, Eldis Picazzino, Edward S. Stavas. Anyone have Avilut or Yahrzeit in addition? Please. And we name as well on this Shabbat in memory all those Jews of the centuries past who in our offered check in history have occasion to say bleakly in Yiddish, so many Hamans, but only one Purim. Zichronam livracha, for them as well as our own beloved, let us rise together for the memorial prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alamad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach, La'alam Ol Me'ol Maya Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitba'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yithalal, Shmei Dekudisham, Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alama v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose Shalom, Bimramav hu ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the maker of peace on high make peace for us, for all Israel, and for those who mourn. And let us say, we invite everyone to be seated once more as we invite the president. Oh, no, not you, Mr. Hail to the chief. Mr. Stan, front and center. You come bring greetings to the assemblage and stall for time while the staff shifts gears.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. Greetings from our Board of Directors and a few announcements about congregational happenings. I welcome visitors worshiping with us tonight and invite you to stay on hand for the Oneg Shabbat following services. Tonight's Oneg was coordinated by Mary Pinto, Joanne Blau, Mitch Braun, and Bob Jarez, Heather Greenfield, Sandra Heckler, Phyllis Rosenblum, and Robin Singer. And Beth, did I miss anybody? Who did I miss? Sorry, Beth? Mary's not here. Well, I'm sorry, but our office staff is out, and they did this 2 weeks in advance, so I knew I could be off. Anyone else I missed, I apologize. Our lovely flowers were donated by Jonathan and Heather Greenfield in honor of Purim Shabbat. Current details of everything going on in congregational life can be found on our website, in our monthly newsletter, The Messenger, and in the semi-weekly email notifications we send out to our membership. Tonight, I take this occasion to remind everyone, Melissa and Z will be on vacation originally the 17th and returning on the 18th, but her sister and Z's daughter had a little boy, and so they was 2 days late and then had a little boy, so they are staying later for the bris. So they will be back. Marty, when will they be back? A week from Monday. So we have one more week to go without them. The Bee Gees concert will be Saturday, March 15th at 7:30. You can purchase tickets at jcmimusic.com. Our last film of the season, America, will be Sunday, March 16th at 2 p.m. A reception is following the film. You can purchase tickets online at jcmimusic.com or at the door the day of the film. And Esther, did you want to say a word or two?
The concert, could you take that by at the door also?
I believe so.
I feel like I'm beating this to death, but the cantor said stall for time. So I can't see her peek out. Let me know when she peeks out so I can stop. I'll read you the menu for the Seder. However, I did want to mention that on our program, I have a little survey on the back of it. So for those who come, I want to know some information, such as, would you like to see any changes in the film schedule? Is Sunday 2 p.m. film and then the reception something you like? Would you like to change it? Would you like to see any changes in the months of presentation, which are now December, January, February, March, one each? And would you like to see or attend films that have a more formalized group discussion built into the reception? So these are some of the things that are on the back. And if you have any input, you can also tell somebody who knows me and can let me know. Okay, so there is, do you have more to say?
I have some more to say.
Oh, you say more.
Okay. All right, let me put this back.
Call me if you're short.
We'll be okay. It's called a filibuster. The next Women's Book Club will be March 18th at 11 a.m. here at JCMI. The book of the month is Honor by 30 Rigar. And all are welcome, including men, and you're welcome even if you didn't read the book. Our 43rd Annual Congregational Passover Seder will be Saturday, April 12th. There are flyers throughout the building and our website, marcojcmi.com. Please RSVP by April 4th. We have Monday night bingo every Monday night. Doors open at 5:30. Join us and bring your friends. Anthony Pinto Jr.'s honey is on sale at the office for $15, and a portion of the sale goes to the temple. The office is selling Memorial Yardtside candles when you have a need. And do not forget to bring in food in our community for those who are less fortunate when you come on Fridays, or leave a donation in the tzedakah box, and I thank you. And now, Rabbi, is the rabbi up there yet? No? All right, well, we're going to have to fill in. Does anybody want to read a menu or the phone book? We can.
Discuss the meaning of one.
Do you want to know the menu for Passover? Do you have it?
Matzo ball soup.
Gee, I thought you'd never ask. I don't think there's a choice. He's reading it.
All right, this is getting to be a real filibuster now. The entree will be a brisket of beef. Then I'm assuming there will be salad and the appropriate accoutrements to that, including matzo ball soup. And And now, if everybody will just, and you got all the matzo balls made, all right, it's always a beautiful event, and, you know, don't sit home in your room alone, come to the Seder. You'll enjoy it. It's always a great event. All right, I'm going to now, we ready? Okay. And now I'm turning it over to our Purim staff.
Purim is in the building.
In case you didn't guess, we're doing the 50s.
When Ahasuerus put on his royal party. When Ahasuerus put on his royal party. Well, a score of guests did boogie for 6 months. Sing it with me, everyone. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. Oh, shake, rattle, and roll. Yeah, they never did nothing save their doggone souls. Wearing flashy robes with their hair done up so nice. Wearing flashy robes with their hair done up so nice. They looked so hot, but their hearts were cold as ice. A shake, rattle, and roll. 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 They didn't do nothing to save their doggone souls. You know where they came from? They came from India to Ethiopia. They all came from India to Ethiopia. They partied and partied till they could party no more. What do they do, everyone? Come on! Shake. Shake, rattle, and roll. They never did nothing to save their doggone souls. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, here's the thing. I don't care what decade it is. Nobody here's old enough to remember the 50s. Don't laugh at me like that, woman.
That was in the 1900s.
That was way back in the 20th century. So everyone has the sheet. You got the content. You want the mitzvah. You got to do the bracha. Together, everyone. We praise you, Adonai, our God and universal ruler, whose mitzvot fill our lives with higher meaning and who has inspired us to read this holiday scroll. We praise you, Adonai, our God and universal ruler, who long ago performed wonders for our people at this time of year. We praise you, Adonai, our God and universal ruler, who has given us life and sustained us and brought us to this very special time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mikra Megillah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim laboteinu bayamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen. Vahi bimei Achashverosh, Achashverosh mehod melech mechod uvad kush, sheva v'esrim u'mea medina, בימים ההם כשבט המלך אחשוורוש על כיסא מלכותו, אשר בשושן הבירה, בשנת 3 למלכו עשה משתה לכל שריו ועבדיו, חיל ופרס ומדי, התרשמים ושרי המדינות לפניו, בהראותו את עושר כבוד מלכותו, ואת יקר תפארת גדולתו, ימים רבים 80 ומעט יום. So it happened long ago, very, very long ago, in fact, say it with me, long ago, in the days of Ahasuerus. Nobody knows exactly who that was, but we talked about that last Sunday, so we'll skip it now. Who ruled 127 kingdoms from Ethiopia to India, that after 2 years on the throne, in his 3rd year, he had a huge exposition, a sort of a world's fair, and invited everyone, at least in his world, to come celebrate. And that was nice, except for the small detail that he wasn't happy with his bride because he wanted to show her off and she refused to come. So he bounced her, he had a beauty contest, and there was a nice Jewish girl named Hadassah, although she wanted to pass for Persian, so she called herself Esther. And it was her turn to come out, but she was a little shy.
She was afraid to come out before the Persians. She was as nervous as she could be. She was afraid to come out before the Persians. She was afraid Ashki-Verosh would see.
1, 2, 3, 4, tell the people what she wore.
It was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, skimpy gown to be the queenie. She wore that for the pageant that day. It was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, skimpy gown to be the queenie. So on the sidelines she wanted to stay.
1, 2, 3, 4, stick around, he'll tell you more.
She was afraid to come out in the open. She was a full robe around her she wore. She was afraid to come out in the open, and so she stood bundled up right by the door.
1, 2, 3, 4, tell the people what she wore.
It was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, skimpy gown to be the queenie that she wore for the pageant that day. An itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, skimpy gown to be the queenie, and so our Esther did conquer the fray.
ותילקח אסתר אל המלך אחשוורוש אל בית מלכותו בחודש העשירי הוא חודש טבת בשנת 7 למלכותו ויאהב המלך את אסתר מכל הנשים ותשכן וחסד לפניו מכל הבתולות וישם כתר מלכות ראשה והמליכה תחת ושתי ויעש המלך משתה גדול עגן לכל שריו ועבדיו את משתה אסתר והנחה למדינות עשה וייתן מסעות כיד המלך So the king found her, he liked her, she won the contest, beauty contest, she's now the queen of Persia, Mazel Tov, and guess what? He gave a big feast, yet again, and everything would have happened happily ever after. We're done, right? Let's go home and have dessert. No? You mean there's more? Oh yeah, it seems that in the background there was a bad guy, the prime minister of Persia, who happened to be a descendant of King Agag of the Amalekites, the great-grandnephew of Abraham, who was unhappy that Isaac and Jacob's kids got the promised land and that his father got bumped. So the Amalekites have an axe to grind. And when this prime minister, John, put the rattles down, we're not quite there yet. When you hear his name, we want to not hear his name because, he's the bad guy. So hold that thought. We'll make sure no one has a chance to hear his name. We'll blot it out when the time comes. But he was, as Harry Anderson would say, a liar, a cheat, a sneak, and a thief, and a man I'm proud to call my friend. A mamzer of the first water. Give me a lead in, maestro. No one would call you a hound dog. You're hating all the time. No one would even call you a hound dog. You're hating all the time. Well, you ain't no friend of my people, and you ain't no friend of mine. The Ahasuerus found you noble. Oh, what a clueless guy. Ahasuerus found you noble. Oh, what a clueless guy. One was demand and mindful, and the other was just evil and vile. You can't just call Haman a hound dog. That was it. He hates all the time. Ready again? He ain't Haman just a hound dog. He's hating all the time. He ain't a friend of my people, and he ain't no friend of mine. That was it. And I'm not plugged in. Shocking. Here it comes. Are you ready? Follow along. The reason you have the script is so you can see where the name is coming and give me enough noise to drown out 2 syllables. Ben Hamadat Agagi, Vayensihehu, Vayasem et Kiso Meal Hasarim, Asherito, V'chol Avdei HaMelech, Asher B'sha'ar HaMelech, Koreim u'mishtachavim le'Haman, Kichen Sivalo HaMelech, U'Mordechai lo yecharav v'lo yishtachaveh, Vayomru Avdei HaMelech, Asher B'sha'ar HaMelech le'Mordechai, Madua ta'overet mitzvat HaMelech, Vahi ba'omraham elav yom, vayom v'lo shama alehem, vayagidu leHaman, lirot v'yamdu divrei Mordechai, ki yigid lahem asher hu Yehudi, vayar ki en Mordechai koreu nishtachaveh lo, vayimale Haman tema, Vayevez benav lishloach yad b'Mordechai levado, ki yigidu lo et am Mordechai, vayivakesh Haman lahashmid et kol haYehudim, asher b'chol malchut Achashverosh im Mordechai. As they say in Persian, oi. Seeing that Mordechai, knowing Haman, go ahead, to be an Agagite, a mamzer, a genocidist, and an enemy of the Jews, a Nazi, the ultimate white supremacist of ancient Persia. He refused to bow down to him in loyalty. And that particular prime minister, whose name was, being irritated at this lèse majesté, as they say in Persian, decided, I'm not just going to get him, like Margaret Hamilton, come on, do it with me. And all the Jews too. Sorry, it didn't go over very well. In the meantime, the love story is going on in the palace, and our beloved Hadassah, whose Persian name that she wears to pass was what, Ed? She and the king were getting along fine.
Love me tender, love me sweet, welcome to this feast. I designed it especially to expose a beast. So love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Your Majesty, a favor I ask, if it be your will. Please save my life and my people's too, only you can fulfill. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Get ready. Wicked Haman condemned us all with his evil heart. You alone can save us all, for this I beg your part. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
So at this dinner party, which the empress shows to Schmeichel, as they say in Persian, the king, she tells him, while you're coming, invite your prime minister too, because I'd love to be able to see face at dinner, ha ha ha. And at the surprise she's going to spring. And at the height of the feast, she tells him yes, just as the cantor beautifully sang for us. I made this just for you, so that you should be happy, and maybe consider granting me a small boon. He said, Admatsi chatsi hamalkut, half the empire, what do you want? She said, my life. Ki nimkarnu ani ve'ami lashmid laharogu la'abed ve'elu la'avdeim avashafchot v'nimkarnu echashti ki ein hatzar shaveh v'nezek hamelech vayomer hamelech Achashverosh vayomer le'Esther hamalka mihu zeh ve'ezehu asher mera'o libo la'asot ken v'tomer Esther ish tsar oyev hara hazeh v'ham niv'a milifnei hamelech. Well, this came as kind of a surprise to the prime minister because he thought he'd at least live long enough to see dessert, but it didn't work out that way. So he's removed to be disposed of. Uncle Mordechai is promoted to be prime minister in his place so that the emperor can keep on going to dinner parties. And at least for Ahasuerus, isn't he a noble-looking fellow? Life is just a dream.
Hey honey, ding dong, ling-a-ling-a-lay. Life is now a dream, since precious Esther has become our Persian queen. Such a beauty, putting on the crown was unforeseen. Life is now a dream, sweetheart, and you bring perfection to Shushan and my regime. Life is now a dream, now all my plans surely can come true, and I spend my whole life loving you. Life is now a dream, sweetheart, ba-do, 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 ba-do. Now every time I look at you, something's on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'll be fine. Oh, life is now a dream. With you as queen, we soar to paradise up above. Esther, you know that you're the only one that I love. Life is now a dream, sweetheart. Ba-boo, 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 ba-ba-ba-boo. Shaboom, shaboom. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, shaboom, shaboom. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, shaboom, shaboom. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, shaboom.
So everyone lived happily after, and the Jews who had been given the license on the day that the evil had selected casting lots. Every day he asked his gods, is this the day of destruction? And they said, no. Is this the day of destruction? Finally, on the full moon of Adar, he said, this is it. So a year from now, on the full moon of Adar, everyone in the Persian Empire had license to kill their Jewish neighbors and keep their property for yourself. Very few of them did it. But in the meantime, the emperor told Esther, I can't pull the plug on an imperial edict, but I tell you what, I'll give the Jews license to defend themselves. So we did. And throughout the Persian Empire, those few of our neighbors who were supremacist bigots and came in a race war to attack and kill Jews were startled to find that we Jews had come together, vayikhalu, it says, had banded together in our mutual defense. The handful of truly wicked people were destroyed together with Haman. And the majority of people who were fine and neighborly and got along great went about their business. And for us Jews, ever since, we commemorate the occasion with this jolly feast of Purim. Maestro? You got it. Sing along.
You got the words there. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He would have murdered all the Jews, though they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nasham, home and Tashem. Now Esther was the lovely queen of King Ahasuerus. When Haman said he'd kill us all, oh my, how he did scare us. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nasham, home and Tashen. But Mordecai, her cousin, bold said, what a dreadful knave, sir. Oh, Esther is a lovely queen. Her people she will save, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nasham, home and Tashen. When Esther, speaking to the king of Haman's plot, made mention, aha, said he, oh no, he won't. I'll spoil his bad intention. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nasham, home and Tashen. Of all his cruel and unkind ways, his punishment did cure him. But don't forget, we owe him thanks with jolly feast of Purim. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nasham, home and Tashen. Woohoo!
Many thanks to our beloved cantorial soloist for her creativity in pulling this thematic Purim together. Dr. Ron Dwaron on keyboard, happy to have you back, sir.
And
our
you.
fabulous cast, Dr. John and Queen Heather, who look pretty good in that skimpy little robe, hubba hubba. Many thanks to our Oneg hosts this evening who've pulled together our Mishloach Manot. We have imported Homantash and imported all the way from the Atlantic seaboard. And I want to point out that this last piece is an American classic. Most modern Jews don't know Shoshanat Yaakov or Al Hanisim or the other traditional Purim melodies, but everyone knows this one. I can tell you that you can tell it was written in the 30s by children of immigrants in the Northeast. Go ahead, ask me why. Because the third verse there, Mordecai, her cousin bold, the original lyric is said, what a dreadful chutzpah. But the next line is not our Esther's, if guns were but invented now, this Haman I would shoot, sir. Shoot, sir, only raps with chutzpah if you're talking from people from either Brooklyn or Brookline. So, regardless of where it came from, let's do one last chorus together. Oh, yes, my goodness. See, our cantor is very competitive. She reminds us we had an important piece of business we didn't finish up. I'll rise to a higher level here to manage this. Everyone who came in costume, front and center so we can all see you. Out back, up front.
Come on down.
All of our contest contestants, come on down.
Heather. excuse me?
I don't count, I'm cast. Although these shoes finally came in handy.
Who got drayed more about clothes than you did, for heaven's sakes? We shouldn't do it. Get it on up here extra minutes.
So everyone admire our contestants here. I'm going to hold my hand over, clap. Brother John, turn around, let's see. Ms. Jane, Queen Esty, Dr. John, and who is that behind those Foster Grants? Okay, which was the loudest applause? They all were? Well, in that case, I don't know who to give this to. The great prize goes to, here, Queen Esther, you just had a procedure today. The big prize, a Purim coloring book. Thank you, crew, for getting in the spirit of things. Mwah, you're wonderful. And the most outrageous noisemakers, front and center. Let's hear what you got.
Oh, I have to go get it.
Most outrageous noisemakers. Go get it, Jonathan. You had something flamboyant over there.
That's the most outrageous.
A potato ricer, thinking outside the box. Also outside the kitchen. Homemade. Okay, who's?
A few years ago, though.
It sounded to me like John got it. Crayons or some assembly required. You're on your own. Big hand for our contestants, costumes, and noisemakers. And let's go make a little noise of our own as we mingle at the Oneg Shabbat all the way back in the Mirror Center. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Purim.
You helped her?
I like your shades. Welcome, welcome.